Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCW, and as always, NoDQ.com. Yesterday I talked about Royal Rumble and answered some Rumble related questions. Today I'm going to be talking about Raw, so let's get right down to it. Actually, this is Royal Rumble, so Royal Rumble continues and then I'll get to Raw. Hey Aaron, I was surprised by the return of Chris Jericho at the Royal Rumble. Is he going to be back full time or is it just one of those one-off Rumble returns? Your thoughts? Well, Chris Jericho was at Raw this week, and it looks like his feud with Dolph Ziggler will be continuing. So I expect Chris Jericho to stick around at least through WrestleMania at this point. And you know, it makes sense. Chris Jericho coming back and being part of WrestleMania. You know, you definitely want to have somebody like Chris Jericho around for WrestleMania and help build up the hype for Mania and have one of those all-time great superstars be a part of the big show of the year. Like I mentioned in the previous video, WWE did a tremendous job. Jericho did a tremendous job throwing everybody off. And, you know, there was the whole story about Jericho negotiating with WWE and that the talks fell through. So clearly that was just a way to work the internet. And it worked to perfection because I did not see it coming. And pretty much nobody in that arena saw it coming. I mean, when he came out there, I mean, the crowd was just completely shocked. And it made for a classic Royal Rumble moment, in my opinion. This one comes from Alex Guerrero 7. Hey Aaron, why do you think the Phoenix crowd started chanting "You still got it" to Y2J? I mean, if the guy didn't lose his skills back in 2007 after a 2-year hiatus, what made the crowd think Y2J could have lost it in a 4-month hiatus? LOL. Well, I did not start that chant, and yeah, it was kind of a dumb chant. You know, Jericho was gone for a whopping, what, 5 months? But I have to say, it felt like he was gone for longer. I mean, I was like, oh my God, he's been gone for so long. But when you realize it, he wasn't really gone all that long. He was at SummerSlam, and then he was gone the next night. And, you know, September, October, November, December, January. 5 months he was gone. So it did feel like a lot longer, but I mean, it was great to see him back, and it really added to the whole pay-per-view, and it was a very nice surprise, as I mentioned in the previous question, to see Chris Jericho back. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on John Cena putting himself down, saying he can't beat The Rock or CM Punk, but it's too predictable now that Cena chose the WWE title? The Rock will retain and face Cena at WrestleMania. Your thoughts? Well, John Cena's got to say something to try to convince people that he could lose at WrestleMania. You know, saying, you know, he can't beat The Rock and he failed to beat CM Punk every time they faced each other. So he really needs to play up that and make people believe that he's fighting an uphill battle. Now, of course, all of us know that, you know, John Cena is probably going to get his win back at WrestleMania against The Rock, and you know that going in, so don't complain when it happens. You know, that's all I got to say about it. And as I mentioned in the previous video, if you feel it's too predictable, you know, you shouldn't be going on sites like NoDQ.com, you know, reading all the spoilers and whatnot, because it's just gonna frustrate you when you read all this stuff, and then it ends up playing out, and you get pissed off that it's too predictable. So you know, it's just the way it is in WWE. They have a set plan. They have their plan for WrestleMania, and if it leaks, so be it. You know, they're just gonna stick to their guns, and you know, they'll try to throw in a swerve every now and then, but they're not gonna cater to the internet audience. That's the bottom line. In the words of Mr. McMahon to Brock Lesnar, quote, "Don't do anything you regret later." Do you think Vince will punish Brock by putting him in a match with Triple H at WrestleMania? Don't be surprised if Triple H returns in a few weeks. Your thoughts, Aaron? Yeah, certainly this looks like the beginning of Triple H's return to get revenge on Brock Lesnar and to get revenge on Vince McMahon. You know, Brock Lesnar has now made this personal by attacking the McMahon family, and everybody knows now that Triple H is part of the family. Although the whole thing kind of feels like a repeat of the Randy Orton storyline from several years back when he gave Vince the punt and then Triple H had to come back and get revenge on behalf of the family. So it is kind of a similar storyline. And you never know. There could be some other plan here. Brock Lesnar and maybe The Undertaker comes out. I'd rather see that personally, but like I said, you know, the talk in WWE right now is that it's going to be Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and then Undertaker versus Punk. So yeah, I mean, if that ends up happening, you know, people are going to say it's predictable or whatever, but you knew that going in. So I'd really like to see something different though, but I don't think that they're going to pull a huge swerve on everybody, but you never know. This last one today comes from Coolman23. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on WWE re-signing Brock Lesnar to a 2-year contract? And who you see Lesnar having his matches with during the span? The thing about Brock Lesnar is that, you know, it's really getting old with him coming back for a month or two and then leaving again. And, you know, they've already had him quit twice now. So what are you going to do? You're going to bring him back and you're going to have him keep quitting? I mean, what are you going to do? That's the main issue I see here with bringing him back on a part-time basis. And I don't think he's going to be around, you know, as a full-time performer again. Because, I mean, that's the reason he ended up quitting in the first place. He just got burned out with the schedule. So that is the one issue I have. But, you know, you can still use him and bring him back for big dream match situations. You can have Brock Lesnar against Randy Orton. That's one big match we haven't seen yet. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, although I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe if it doesn't happen this year, we'll get to see it at WrestleMania 30. That is a possibility. And, you know, Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, you know, the two of them, you know, they're both with Paul Heyman as their manager, so that could create an interesting storyline with Paul Heyman being in the middle between those two guys. So there's still a lot of big matches, and even another match with Cena. You could always do a Lesnar versus Cena rematch. So there's still a lot you can do with Brock Lesnar, but I just hope that he's at least around a little bit more, and they can be a little bit more creative and not have him quit every time they need to write him off television. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AW. Check out my Royal Rumble pictures, facebook.com/NoDQ&DOTCOM. And I have pictures from the post Royal Rumble get-together, facebook.com/Aaron Rift. So that'll do it for the plugs, and I will see you guys for episode number 250 of No DQ&A video, and that will be a extended version of No DQ&A video, so I know you'll all be happy about that. See you then.